Welcome back to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. I'm Ollie Hayes, and today I'm bringing you a news reaction to the news that Jake O'Brien is on his way in a reported transfer from Lyon to Everton. So yeah, let's get straight into this reaction. It was first reported this afternoon by Fabrizio Romano that Jake O'Brien is set for a medical tomorrow ahead of a proposed move to Everton from Lyon, with the reported fee being around 18 million euros. And that news came out of the blue, really. We've heard murmurs in the last couple of weeks, haven't we, that a centre back would be on the list for Everton. That would be quite high up the priority in terms of a transfer for this summer. So we know that we were linked with Jacob Greaves, and Jake O'Brien was also a name that was thrown into the hat relatively early in the window. But this one seems like it's moving a little bit quicker now. This one seems like it's going to be done. But as I said before, it came relatively out of the blue. In terms of that we'd planned a medical for him. It actually dropped about 5 minutes into that Salford game this afternoon. So definitely came out of the blue. I managed to get the news to my phone. I managed to get signal in the ground and managed to find out that we were pressing on with the transfer for Jake O'Brien. But I sort of wanted to give my reaction to this and tell you what kind of player to expect with Jake O'Brien and what kind of player he is. He's a 23-year-old. He's a centre back for Lyon. He's only played one season with Lyon, but he has made appearances for the national team at under 21 and first team level. He's 6'6", so he definitely won't look out of place next to Jared Branthwaite, that's for sure. We seem to have two big man mountains in centre half now if this transfer goes through, so that's definitely a positive. But he has actually played in England before. He has played in the youth setup at Crystal Palace. So that shows that he does have experience playing in England. That was before his move to the second tier of Belgium 2 seasons ago, and then his move to Lyon last summer for a reported fee of £1 million. That deal went through. So yeah, last season he played 31 times for Lyon. He did actually score 5 goals for Lyon, which I think is quite prolific for a centre half. It's very similar to Jared Branthwaite and the amount of goals he scored for Everton last season. So I think that's definitely something that Dyche will look to utilise. You'll look to utilise the height of Jared Branthwaite and the height of O'Brien from set pieces, because Dyche does like to utilise set pieces, and they are a key centerpiece of Dyche's tactics. So that's definitely a positive, and I think it's nice to see that we're signing players that can score from set pieces. We've had so many centre halves over the years that can't seem to get up for headers and can't seem to win headers from corners. So I think with the height of Branthwaite and Jake O'Brien, that's something that we definitely might see more often. But naturally being 6'6", he does have that natural strength that it is very crucial for a centre half in the Premier League. I think we see it so many times now where centre halves are getting bullied off by strikers. So I think it's definitely positive that the 6'6" centre half, he does have that natural strength. But I have seen a few reports saying that he is a little bit on the slow side, but they're kind of contrasting. I've seen some people saying that he's quite mobile, he's decent, he's quick thinking, but he does lack that pace a little bit. So I think that remains to be seen. I think one thing for me personally, I like to see a centre half have is pace, because recovery pace is everything in the Premier League. Teams go from back to front, sorry, so quickly. They can turn you around so quickly. So I think recovery pace is a big thing, and that's one thing that Jared Branthwaite does very well, is his recovery pace. So hopefully he is swaying more to the reports that he is quite mobile rather than he doesn't have that pace necessary. But time will tell with that one. But in a system where he is next to Jared Branthwaite, I don't see that being too much of an issue. I think Jared Branthwaite, obviously, as I said before, he does have that recovery pace. So maybe O'Brien would step back in a tactical system and let Jared Branthwaite doing the pressing and the running about. Maybe that remains to be seen. But I think it definitely can work having a slower centre half next to Branthwaite, as we've seen with Tarkowski for the last couple of seasons. So it does offer a much needed cover in the centre back area, doesn't it? This Jake O'Brien deal. As I said before, we only have Michael Keane and Mason Holgate below Tarkowski and Branthwaite, and as we've seen in pre-season, Tarkowski's yet to make an appearance in the Sligo Rovers game, and then this afternoon at Salford as well. Tarkowski is actually nursing a little bit of an injury, so it's we do need bodies in the door in centre half, and this is definitely that. So I think the fee's sensible for a young player, as I said before, as well with the Iliman Ndiaye deal and the Jesper Lindstrom deal. The ceiling's quite high with these kind of players, this profile of player that we're going for. We're not signing 29, 30-year-old players anymore. We're signing 23-year-olds, 24-year-olds that maybe have fallen off or not had the easier to career paths like, say, Lindstrom has had, or what O'Brien has had, with his leaving Crystal Palace and then going to Belgium and then on to Lyon. I think we're signing players that have the right profile, that have a really high ceiling, that are maybe a little bit of hidden gems in Europe, rather than going to players that are tried and tested, but we'd have to pay a higher premium for them. We're paying lower money and lower fees for players that have maybe fallen out of favour or gone a little bit unnoticed. So I think it's definitely a sensible fee, 18 million euros, and it seems like a good deal all round. I think it's a player who's exciting. It just remains to be seen if he's got that recovery pace and he's got that pace which is necessary to play in the Premier League. But I think time will tell with that one, and hopefully we see him sign soon, and hopefully see this one get over the line. But I want to know your thoughts, Blues. Let me know in the comments. Are you excited about this deal? Have you heard much about him other than what I've said? Let me know in the comments if there's any more information that's come to light that I've not mentioned. I'd be grateful to hear any information that I can get on him. But that is all from me today. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll speak to you soon.